Today we're going to look at the product rule for exponents. What do we mean by the word product? Remember, product means multiplication. So when we're talking about the product rule for exponents, we're talking about when we multiply two different exponential expressions. So let's look at x squared. Remember, x is the base, 2 is the exponent, so we need to multiply the base 2 times. If we take two different exponential expressions, let's say x squared times x to the third, what would that equal? Well, let's first write each of these as repeated multiplication. X squared is x times x squared, and then we're going to multiply that by x to the third. So times x times x times x. This is our x to the third. Now let's count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So our base is x, and we've multiplied it by itself 5 times. So x squared times x to the third equals x to the 5th power. Let's try another one. Let's try a to the 4th times a squared. Let's first write it as repeated multiplication. So a to the 4th is a times a times a times a to the 4th times a squared. This is our a squared. And now let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So a to the 4th times a squared is a to the 6th power. So the product rule means that when you have two different exponential expressions, you add the exponents. So let's look at this. They have to have the same base. So this will only work if we're talking about an x to some power times an x to some power, or let's say a y to some power times a y to some power, or even a number. Let's say here 2 to the third times 2 to the 4th. So in all of these cases, the base has to be the same. So you take exponential expressions with the same base, and then we're going to add the exponents together. So if we were looking at, let's say, c to the third times c to the 4th, they have the same base, and so we are going to add the exponents. So this would be c to the 7th. But let's write it out in expanded form as repeated multiplication to check. So c to the third is c times c times c. There's our c to the third. And then times c to the 4th. There's our c to the 4th. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that does equal c to the 7th. Let's try another one. Let's try 3 to the third times 3 to the third. They have the same base, So we're going to add the exponents. So this should equal 3 to the 6, but let's write it out to see. So let's take the first expression, exponential expression, 3 times 3 times 3. It's this one right here. Times 3 times 3 times 3. Trying to get a color here. There we go. That's this one right here. Let's count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that does equal 3 to the 6th power. So let's look at a few problems. Let's see, 2 squared times 2 to the 3rd is equal to 2 times 2 plus 3 equals 2 to the 5th power. 8 to the 9th times 8 to the 2nd equals 8 to the 9 plus 2 equals 8 to the 11th. You can even do this with multiple variables. So x to the 3rd y squared times x y to the 3rd equals x to the 3 plus 1 y to the 2 plus 3, which equals x to the 4th y to the 5th. So the product rule for exponents means that you take exponential expressions with the same base and you add the exponents together to figure out what the product is. X to the 4th times x to the 3rd equals x to the 7th.